Just over a year ago, I covered the announcement of Dreadmoor by Dreamdock. It's a first-person survival fishing game that, at reveal, got a lot of people excited about the prospect of a first-person take on the indie hit Dredge. I didn't take the bait though, as it was pretty clear to me at the time that no game actually existed when it was revealed. The trailer was using the tried and tested method of delivering a target render of what the developers hoped to achieve, but more insidiously mimicked real gameplay with UI and such to try to convince players that this was an actual playable game. My original video compared Dreadmoor's reveal to that of the day before, which also used pre-rendered assets to mimic real gameplay, which was covered and hyped by numerous press outlets, and was even featured by Nvidia itself as a showcase of their tech. This wasn't the first game to do such a thing, as AAA publishers, Ubisoft, used to be notorious for these trailers, but the day before was easily the most egregious. During the recent Steam Ocean Fest event, I finally got my hands on Dreadmoor as the game opened its playtest to the public for the first time. I've noticed a number of new comments on my previous video indicating that I lied about Dreadmoor since there's the real game now. Before I go any further, let's take some time to compare, shall we? My hands-on time with the game wasn't anything to write home about. It's a very small sample of what Dreamdock hopes to achieve, and clearly it's resonating with plenty of people who have tried it. That's not really a surprise considering the excitement around the concept in the first place. You can sail around in your boat, fish for some creepy critters, and do a few quests to upgrade mechanics. That is, if you can get past the utterly atrocious writing that's there. If atmosphere and some fishing are all you're really hoping for, then maybe there's something to like about this demo. But it's most certainly not representative of the trailer that originally revealed the game. There's still clearly not an actual game here, but a collection of mechanics that the developers hope to turn into a full game. That's fine, and if the trailer was just a cinematic, that would have been fine too. Cinematic trailers are often used by game developers and publishers to announce a game and recruit talent to it. The problem arises when those trailers try to pass themselves off as an actual in-production game, like the day before or BioWare's Anthem did. And a reason I bring up that point is that Dreadmoor is maintaining a Q4 2026 release date, which seems more far-fetched than a Destiny 3 if the game is to look anything like what was originally promoted. I'm not here to put down a developer trying their best. Game development is incredibly challenging, and I would never dispute that. I genuinely hope that Dreadmoor turns out to be the game that people hope it will be. Unfortunately, there's still a number of big red flags that keep me from giving this project and its publisher, Digital Vortex, the benefit of the doubt. At the time of my first video, Dreadmoor didn't have a publisher. The game was revealed in April 2025, and by August 2025, Digital Vortex had signed on to provide support. Since then, they've been heavily involved in pretty much all of the studio's communications and feedback building around Dreadmoor. There have been multiple playtests for the game, as Dreamdock has clearly been building towards a playable vertical slice, as indicated by the demo itself when you finish it. Vertical slice, if you haven't heard that term before, is essentially a proof of concept to show all the core mechanics of a game before it enters full production. Their current Steam page feels deceptive to me, as the trailer and marketing images are all from the small vertical slice test, but come across as trying to promote a full project. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but explore the submerged lands and it's just different shots of the one area you can explore in the vertical slice seems a little misleading to me, especially when you look back at the original trailer. Alongside that, Digital Vortex has put a heavy focus on listening to the players and the fans, proving to the naysayers that there's a real game here and that they're responsive to feedback. What gives me pause is that they're actively hiding their very first published game, which is now abandoned. Railgods of Astera was released into early access in May 2025 after a well-received demo generated a ton of online hype from creators and press alike across social media. The demo was released in February 2025, the early access version released on May 7, 2025, and then the final update for the game dropped on May 18th, 2025, and that was it. Players waited months for communication and finally got an update from Digital Vortex in September of 2025. They apologized for the silence, with vague hints at development problems, and promised to update again when there was meaningful progress. It is now almost June 2026, and there hasn't been a peep from them about the game. In fact, it's not even listed on their own website as a game they're publishing. When I cover games like this, I look for patterns, and with Dreadmoor, I get the feeling that this is another project completely built on hype with no real way to execute it. I keep referring back to the day before because the hype generated around a project that never truly existed was immense. Dreadmoor is in a similar boat, as it accrued over 200,000 wishlists, and outlets checked out the demo at PAX East and gave it glowing previews, without ever bringing up the pre-render trailer that mimicked a real game. Well, the gameplay is here, and much like similar projects that built themselves off of deceptive marketing tactics, I'm not exactly holding my breath for what this game will eventually be, despite my hope that the studio and publisher prove me wrong. Usually, when something stinks like this in the game space, there's something rotting below the surface.